Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The opening night of the NFL season in Brazil was more than just a football game. It was a showcase, a statement, and perhaps even a turning point for the Los Angeles Chargers and their star quarterback, Justin Herbert. Under the bright lights of a packed stadium in Sao Paulo, Herbert reminded the football world exactly why he was considered one of the most talented arms to come out of college in recent memory. He was sharp, fearless, and utterly in control against none other than Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning powerhouse of the AFC. Jim Harbaugh, in his first regular season game at the helm of the Chargers, got the kind of performance that every coach dreams of on opening night. Herbert not only silenced critics, but also rekindled an old debate that still stings for some fan bases, particularly those in South Florida. For those who remember the 2020 NFL Draft, the narratives feel like they happened yesterday. Joe Burrow was the chosen one, his miraculous season at LSU rewriting history and launching him to the #1 pick. Tua Tagovailoa was the prodigy everyone had once believed in, the golden boy who had already delivered Alabama a championship as a freshman. Then there was Herbert, tall, strong, cannon-armed, but somehow overshadowed by flashier names. When the Miami Dolphins sat with the 5th pick, fans believed destiny had brought them to the quarterback of the future. But the decision they made that night continues to follow them like a shadow. By passing on Herbert and choosing Tua, Miami locked themselves into a narrative that flares up every time Herbert throws for 300 yards or delivers a clutch victory. And Friday night in Brazil was one of those nights where that decision couldn't be ignored. After the Chargers win, former NFL quarterback Kurt Benkert didn't hold back. Now more comfortable with a microphone than with a playbook, Benkert went on X and delivered a jab aimed directly at Miami's front office. His post read like a reminder and a taunt all at once. The Dolphins really drafted Tua over Justin Herbert, then went and paid him more than Herbert the second they got the chance. That kind of commentary might sting fans, but it isn't without truth. Miami believed in Tua enough to hand him a massive extension as soon as the window opened, showing loyalty to their guy. But loyalty doesn't erase comparisons. It doesn't silence critics when the player they passed on is lighting up defenses on the biggest stage of the opening weekend. And in moments like this, the scrutiny feels magnified, almost inescapable. The Dolphins' decision in 2020 wasn't made in a vacuum, of course. Tua was recovering from a devastating hip injury, but he was also a proven winner in college, a surgeon with the football who had built a reputation as one of the most accurate passers in years. Miami saw stability and leadership, qualities they believed were crucial in building their franchise back to relevance. Herbert, while impressive in tools, had been criticized for inconsistency at Oregon, with some scouts questioning his leadership style and his ability to handle NFL locker rooms. The irony now is that the very qualities Miami thought they were avoiding are what Herbert has transformed into strengths under Harbaugh's system. He commands his offense, spreads the ball with precision, and most importantly, looks like a quarterback who believes he can beat anybody, anywhere. That belief is contagious, and his teammates clearly feed off it. Friday's performance was even more significant because of the opponent. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have defined excellence for the last half-decade, serving as the standard every team measures itself against. For Herbert to step into an international spotlight, with the league expanding its reach into Brazil, and come out on top, was symbolic. It wasn't just about numbers, it was about presence. His ability to stay composed in key moments, to deliver big throws under pressure, and to keep pace with Mahomes on the other sideline showed that Herbert isn't just an afterthought in the conversation of elite quarterbacks. He belongs in the same tier, and nights like this prove it. That's why the comparisons to Tua sting so much. Dolphins fans aren't just reminded that they passed on talent. They're reminded that they passed on a quarterback who might shape the very future of the conference. It isn't that Tua Tagovailoa has been a failure. Far from it. He has had stretches of brilliance, moments where his quick release and accuracy make him look unstoppable in Mike McDaniel's offense. But durability remains a concern, and questions about whether he can carry Miami deep into the playoffs still linger. The fact that neither he nor Herbert has yet won a playoff game keeps the debate alive, unresolved, simmering. However, The general feeling now is that Herbert's path is clearer. With Harbaugh's leadership, a fortified offensive line, and playmakers at every level, the Chargers seem poised to finally make noise in January. For Miami, the pressure is heavier. Every Dolphins loss or Tua misstep will be framed against the Herbert decision, no matter how unfair that might be. That's the reality of drafting quarterbacks back-to-back in history-making drafts. Another storyline that shouldn't be overlooked is just how resilient this Chargers team already looks under Harbaugh. Losing Rashawn Slater, their franchise left tackle, could have derailed any offensive plan, but instead Joe Alt stepped up in impressive fashion. The rookie, who had been slotted on the right side, shifted left and handled the assignment like a seasoned veteran. Protecting Herbert's blind side against the likes of Chris Jones and the Chiefs' aggressive front isn't an easy ask, but Alt's composure was a testament to the Chargers' depth and coaching. Performances like his are what separate good teams from great ones, because in the NFL, attrition is inevitable. To win big games, you need young players who can adapt quickly and deliver under pressure. On Friday night, that's exactly what Alt and the offensive line did, giving Herbert the platform to shine. As the dust settles from the season opener, the narratives are already forming. The Chargers look like a team reborn, powered by a quarterback playing with confidence and a coach who knows how to extract the best from him. The Dolphins, meanwhile, are caught in the uncomfortable position of seeing their past decisions replayed in real time. Kurt Benkert's jab might fade from social media timelines in a few days, but the underlying debate isn't going anywhere. Every touchdown Herbert throws, every win the Chargers secure, will bring the spotlight back to that pivotal moment in 2020. That's the beauty and the cruelty of the NFL. Careers, legacies, and fan loyalties can all be traced back to draft nights where choices are made and futures are written. For Miami, the question lingers like an open wound. What if they had chosen differently? For Herbert and the Chargers, the answer is unfolding on the field, one game at a time. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Miami Dolphins fans woke up today buzzing with rumors swirling around South Florida. And if the whispers coming out of the building are true, the team may have just added a piece that changes the texture of their offense in a way few expected. KENDRICK Bourne, the reliable and underrated wide receiver who quietly carved a reputation for himself as a dependable chain mover and locker room leader, is said to be the newest Dolphin. While Miami already has the explosive 1-2 punch of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, adding Bourne as that WR3 option feels like a strategic masterstroke. This isn't about flash, it's about balance. Bourne thrives in those in-between routes, the slants, the digs, the timing plays that keep drives alive. If this rumor turns out to be true, it gives quarterback Tua Tagovailoa another trusted safety valve, a piece that might open up everything else across the board. What makes this move so intriguing is the way it seems tailor-made for the Dolphins' current identity. Mike McDaniel's offense is all about rhythm, timing, and putting defenses on their heels with spacing and speed. Hill and Waddle stretch the field vertically and horizontally, forcing secondaries to panic every single snap. But where Miami has often struggled is in those clutch third-down moments, when defenses sit back, take away the deep ball, and dare someone else to beat them. That's where KENDRICK Bourne comes in. He has made a career out of winning those battles, using crisp route running, strong hands, and a knack for finding soft spots in coverage. If defenses try to double Miami's stars, Bourne is the guy who punishes them underneath. He doesn't need to put up gaudy numbers to be effective. His very presence could shift how opponents game plan against this offense. The beauty of Bourne's game is that it doesn't demand headlines or force-feeding. He is the kind of receiver who understands roles, who thrives in being the connector between big plays. In New England, despite offensive instability and quarterback inconsistency, he managed to carve out meaningful production and prove his value in a system that rarely highlighted receivers. Imagine what he can do in a Miami scheme that emphasizes motion, creativity, and space. Picture Hill going deep, Waddle cutting across the middle, and Bourne slipping into a seam at just the right moment. That kind of synergy doesn't just add yards. It adds confidence, it builds momentum, and it gives a quarterback like Tua the kind of rhythm that turns good drives into great ones. This isn't just about acquiring a WR3. It's about acquiring a system fit, a player who can amplify everyone else's strengths without demanding the spotlight. Another layer to this rumor is the timing. Miami has been searching for that complementary piece ever since defenses figured out how to play them down the stretch last season. Too often, drives stalled when Hill was bracketed or when Waddle was slowed at the line. Tua's options became predictable, and predictability is death in today's NFL. Bourne provides unpredictability. He is savvy, versatile, and capable of lining up inside or outside, giving McDaniel another chess piece to move around. Think about how much pressure this takes off Tua as well, knowing there's a third option who won't shy away from big moments. That safety blanket effect is invaluable, especially in playoff games when margins shrink and execution decides everything. This rumor isn't just noise. It feels like a calculated move, one that speaks volumes about Miami's ambitions and recognition of what held them back last year. And let's not forget the locker room factor. Bourne has long been praised for his energy, positivity, and leadership qualities, traits that often fly under the radar but mean everything in a grueling NFL season. Miami's roster is full of star personalities, but chemistry can be fragile. Adding someone like Bourne, who teammates consistently describe as uplifting and focused, could be the glue that keeps the wide receiver room aligned. Football isn't just about XS and OS. It's about relationships, about how players trust each other when games get tight. Bourne's presence ensures that Hill and Waddle don't carry the entire emotional load. Instead, he becomes a unifying presence, someone who sets the tone in practice and reminds everyone that every rep, every detail, matters. In a team chasing championships, those intangibles can be the hidden edge, the silent force that sustains momentum across the long grind. Financially, this rumored move also makes sense. Miami has invested heavily in its stars, but you can't build a contender by overspending on depth. Bourne represents that rare balance between affordability and impact. He won't command the kind of contract that handcuffs flexibility, yet his production level exceeds his cost. That's how good teams stay competitive year after year, by finding value where others overlook it. If Miami truly pulled this off, they did so by outmaneuvering the market and identifying a player who perfectly fits their needs without breaking the bank. It's another sign that the front office is learning, evolving, and making smarter bets. Fans might clamor for flashy names, but often it's the understated moves, the calculated acquisitions, that pay off when the stakes rise. Bourne could very well be that kind of acquisition, subtle now, seismic later. Of course, rumors can swirl without substance, and fans know better than to pop champagne until ink meets paper. But even the possibility of Bourne joining the Dolphins has already ignited conversations across sports radio, Twitter Spaces, and barbershops from Miami Gardens to Fort Lauderdale. Everyone seems to sense that this would be more than just a roster filler. It would be a signal, a statement that Miami understands the gaps in their offense and is moving decisively to close them. In an AFC stacked with firepower, every edge matters. Having Bourne as a reliable WR3 might not sound like headline news compared to blockbuster trades, but football is often won in the margins, in those overlooked details. And this feels like one of those moves that could tilt a playoff game or sustain a crucial late-season drive. In the end, whether this rumor solidifies into reality or not, the very idea speaks volumes about where Miami's mindset is heading. This isn't a team satisfied with highlight reels or regular season flash. They're hunting for balance, resilience, and sustainable ways to beat elite defenses when everything is on the line. Kendrick Bourne embodies that mindset: hardworking, dependable, unselfish, and quietly effective. If the Dolphins truly lock him in, they won't just have a WR3. They'll have the missing piece that transforms an already dangerous offense into something far more lethal. And if it turns out to be smoke without fire, the conversation itself serves as a reminder of what this team still needs. Someone exactly like Kendrick Bourne, the kind of player who doesn't just fill a role, but unlocks the entire structure of the attack. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.